was the beginning of feminism. Eve was the mother of 10,000 things.
Oh, well, welcome back to another episode of Griftcast IRL, the best worst show on the internet. How are you doing this evening? Hopefully you are well. This show is brought to you in part by Monkey with the Computer in association with CV Productions and in collaboration with the Illuminati, because you will believe in our design because you are living in it, whether you like it or not. All right, that's enough of that crap. So, anyways, the Illuminati forces me to do this show sometimes because obviously I have to come out here and tell you all the truth, and y'all gotta not believe me and then go watch a bunch of more popular people to like triple double verify whatever I'm saying. And I mean, honestly, there's just like a lot of stuff going on. Seems like there's a lot of stuff going on today. Seems a little strange, you know. People are getting indicted again. An internet apocalypse approaches. Joe Biden says him being indicted or him doing any wrongdoing, oh, that's a bunch of malarkey. So, yes, we have a few things. 28th Amendment, I heard, or something like that. So it's just going to be an interesting show. I'm Manuel Chavez III, or the Turd, depending on how you know me. And as always, you can find all of our links and check us out over at griftcast.com, which will bring you right on to our links where you can make donations, hit us in the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, go to our merch store, buy an EMP shield to help save you, and a whole host of other things. You know, follow us on social media and stuff, doing all of the good things, which is what you should be doing. You should be clicking them links. You should be hooking your boy up because you know what? You never know when the internet's going to go away. And all of you dopamine fiends are going to be in a world of freaking hurt when you lose it. So I guess we'll start with that today because I thought that this was probably a slightly interesting piece of information. NASA, my favorite, NASA, the guys that shoot rockets into space and are cool as fuck, that prove the earth wasn't flat and everything else or whatever, you know, like the most real organization of smart people outside of obviously the Illuminati. But, you know, this whole thing is actually getting kind of worrying. I've spoke on this before. People have predicted this. Obviously, I'm not the first person to talk about it. Obviously, NAFIS is talking about it, but an internet apocalypse could be looming, and it all seems to come back to that sun thing. You see, the sun can make a coronal mass ejection at the planet, and if it's at a high enough intensity or power, and it knocks out the shield of air around the planet, well, yeah, bad things could happen, like the entire internet apparatus getting shut down for a very, very long time, and all of us getting taken back to the Stone Age. We're all basically living in rust. Yeah, we're all basically living in rust. So you know what? I'm just making sure I know just enough about electricity and everything else to be useful, because obviously, you know, things are going to get real bad real quick, probably. But a groundbreaking mission by NASA's Parker Solar Probe, or PSP, has successfully ventured through solar wind through the first time, aiming to prevent people on Earth from being unable to get internet. And they've issued warnings about a potential impact of a solar storm, commonly referred to as an internet apocalypse, which could strike within the next decade. By the way, for all of you out there that just need the reminder, the decade is 10 years. So sometime in the next 10 years, they're expecting the sun to ejaculate its mass all over us and shut down the internet because it finally got too much of that internet porn. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. But this spacecraft that's ventured on this remarkable journey, doing this thing that people said, nah, I don't think that we're ever going to be able to fly into the sun. That seems like a bad idea. You couldn't fly into the sun. Well, guess what? We sent a spaceship into the sun. That's pretty fucking cool. It's flying around in there. I mean, it's not like in the sun, but it's in the spot where everybody would be like, normally the only person that could survive, or at least we thought would be able to survive in that area, was Superman. But right now we can put a little robot over there, and that's actually pretty cool. And strange, because I guess, you know, I thought the sun had like some massive gravity or something like that, and I figured, you know, being able to fly around that shit would be difficult, but apparently it's not. That's cool, man. Torsion gravity effects are weird as fuck, man. I don't know. Maybe I should have gone to college for something else in my life, but then again, these are the things that we do in our life. But the solar wind is a continuous stream of charged particles that emanate from the sun's outermost atmosphere, otherwise known as the corona. And that's basically where this ship is flying around in. It's literally sailing the solar winds of the electricity that hits the solar panels in your face when you're outside and shit. Isn't the universe weird? How could you understand how the sun works and think that we don't live in some kind of simulation or something like that? Because this is obviously not real. This is obviously some kind of, you know, weird fucking simulation, hologram, whatever, because things are just getting weirder and weirder by the day. It's almost like we're just in a real life Sims game, which is even stranger. Maybe we're all interlocked into some weird pods or whatever in the year 8,888, and we're just all experiencing this portion of time trying to understand where it all fucking went wrong. And I mean, come to find out, it was always when, you know, we decided that we were going to go green and do all this green bullshit. And then, yeah, the green ends up taking over the planet and killing all of us. Almost. Yes, almost. But think about it. At least those extreme conditions of the sun can be handled by the Parker Solar Probe, and it's given us crucial insight of not only the inner workings of the sun, but everything else. And it's literally now they get a better understanding, because before they had to look at the sun, right? We've been to the solar observatories before. If you haven't noticed, we've talked to a lot of people, astrophysicists and such, and it's always been the major thing where they've been studying the sun, trying to figure out if they can predict these mechanisms behind the suns and what causes the solar winds to abruptly change and eject a lot more mass, and seeing if that could be predicted and such. Well, these types of geomagnetic storms in the near future could wreak havoc. I think I was just watching videos not that long ago. Actually, a movie last night called The Core, right? The Core. It's on YouTube, actually. You can watch it, I believe, for free right now. But this movie about the core actually does demonstrate some very interesting things that are very similar. There's geomagnetic storms and the same things that, and how it's depicted in that film actually seems to be very, very clear to what we could be experiencing in the very near future. Because you got to remember that, I mean, fiber optic networks are definitely going to be a lot more resilient to these geomagnetic storms than anything else, right? But it's the copper that we're really worried about, because think about it, the planet Earth is layered now, right? It's layered with all kinds of electronic cables all over the place. So the internet itself, for the most part, is a copper structure that basically almost encircles a very good portion of the globe. And if you look at places like the United States or any metropolitan area, you'll start to understand that, you know, many of these places have like thousands of miles of cabling that are there that wouldn't have been there before. So the effect of a solar storm is going to be far different than it would have been maybe 100 years ago. You know, like 100 years ago, they didn't really have computers and shit. Okay, I mean, there was electricity, but not in the way that it was here. So life was very different, you know, like the power goes out. Well, fucking 1 in 20 people might have seen power back then, right? These days, it's a whole lot different. And even more so, you got to ask yourself is like, where are you going to get your power from? Sure, you could do the solar panels and stuff like that, but charge controllers, battery controllers, how are you going to handle all of that situation? Because you can't just keep posting down raw power from the sun that you're capturing into, you know, the wires. Eventually, they're going to overheat or oversaturate or whatever. Or maybe you could, you know, think about it. Like, even if the power station goes out, there's still power in the lines, isn't there? And even more so, since we're using alternating current, you're not like getting a flow of power that's like a fucking water hose. Technically, you're not getting any power. The power is just moving back and forth, right? Because, you know, like the power in an alternating current line goes like this, you know, so like nothing's really moving. They're just shaking back and forth. Anyways, so think about this. Internet apocalypse. Was that on your bingo card for the upcoming next 10 years? I hope it was, because obviously it's definitely moving up a step right behind fake alien invasion, but not before real alien invasion. There's still a whole lot of like conspiracy talk out there that we're really looking into here at the Illuminati. I keep telling them that we need to more focus on the whole solar dynamic issue, but they want to go into other shit like politics and whatnot, which is why, oh wait, this isn't what I wanted to put up. Yes. Wait, no, this is what I want to put up either, which gets me into my next thing, actually. So wait, where the fuck did it go? Yes, there we go. According to Fox News, CNN, and all of the other mainstream media titans, and Donald Trump himself, actually, well, I believe the information comes from Donald Trump first, and then everybody else started reporting on it. But Donald Trump has reported that he has been indicted, federally indicted, for charges relating to the mishandling of documents that are classified. Oh, me, my, oh, oh shit, son, again, double indicted, double impeached. This guy is a rat. You know what I'm saying? He's either a rat or a legend. And honestly, he's a fucking legend. Like, Donald Trump is legendary. They hate this dude so much. They're trying to destroy him so much. They used to love him, right? He used to be the you're fired guy, right? When he was playing ball with them, they loved him. Now they hate him. Now they hate him because he exposed them. And he's still exposing them to some people. Like, some people have had their awakening, realized that this is all just a dream, joke, simulation, whatever, and started to realize that going with the simulation seems to be making you draw closer into this, like, democratic way of life or whatever. And what is it drawing us towards? Some sort of post-apocalyptic AI-controlled future? No fucking thank you. If that's what it's going to be, please, oh son of sons, wipe us out, fucking wipe out the internet, all the computers and shit, take us back to the Stone Age or whatever. I'll figure out how to get computers and electricity working again. Don't you fucking worry about it. Anyways, still though, this is where we at. So what do we have to say? I don't know. What do we say? Donald Trump ordered to appear in a federal court in Miami on Tuesday following the indictment. So he's been indicted for his mishandling of top secret documents that he himself declassified officially. We've seen the declassification paperwork. It's all real. But on one side, they're saying, no, he didn't declassify these. But on the other end, he's the president. He could declassify stuff. There's no real process other than him doing that. They could try to lie and say there was like an oversight committee or something that said, oh, no, he can't declassify them. But since he's the president, he could do whatever he wants. He could be like, fuck you, trigger thumbs, and just do it, which is exactly what he did. And that's seemingly what they're trying to indict him for, because they're saying he didn't follow the correct procedure when he declassified those, which is convenient for us because we need to take him out before he gets elected again. And on the other end, and Trump's like, I fucking declassified those. Here's a document that even shows that I did, that was filed. You guys have a copy of this. Like, what's your freaking deal, bro? So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to say? How are we supposed to deal with this one? I don't really know, actually. Like, here's the video Donald Trump posted on the Truth Social about him being an innocent man and how the Biden administration is totally corrupt, which I tend to agree with because, in my opinion, there's a preponderance of evidence that shows that that's indeed a fact, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about after this. But let's take a look.
Very sadly, we're a nation in decline.
Very sad.
And yet they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country.
More votes than any sitting presidents.
And did much
Fuck
better
you,
the
Obama.
second time in the election than the first. And they go after him on a boxes hoax, just like the Russia hoax and all of the others.
Yeah, the Russia hoax, that was totally debunked.
That they can't stop.
Durham, anybody?
Interference at the highest level. There's never been anything like what's happened. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person. They had the Mueller.
Did you hear him say election interference? Does this constitute election interference? Because, like, he's a candidate. He's announced his candidacy. He's running for president. The charges are about as loose as a $2 whore. And, I mean, what are we supposed to even say? I mean, am I just jaded now? Am I just so steeled to the bullshit that I look at this shit and be like, man, I don't even know if I was even going to vote for him this time around, but Jesus Christ, it's like they're forcing my hand, because it's like they want me to vote for him because I always vote for the underdog. He's the underdog again. He has become the underdog again, and everybody loves a good knockdown, drag out story, but it's Trump. Look at the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. Look at how he's handled all this stuff, right? Look at who he's put in his wings. Look who he's hired. Look at how bad things have gone with these selections. And then think, are they really going to, is the Trump team really going to be able to turn this shit around? And honestly, I can't say that they're going to be able to, but you know what? They're going to fucking try. And that's, good on them or whatever. They had their chance to, have somebody that could get them to fix this shit, but they're too up their own asses to even care about it. So, c'est la vie. I'm staying the fuck out of this next election, I'll tell you what.
Mueller report, and that came out, no collusion.
Staying the fuck out of it.
That was
Staying the fuck out of the next election outside of working on a contract that may or may not have something to do with them machines.
set up by Hillary Clinton and Democrats. But this is what they do. This is what they do so well. If they would devote their energies to honesty and integrity, it would be a lot better for our country. They could do a lot better. They could do a lot of great things. But when you look at what's happened to our country in the last 3 years, we were energy independent. We had a strong military that wasn't woke. We were doing so well. We were respected all over the world. Got the biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history. And what do? You have a president where an election was taken, got more votes than any sitting president in history by far, never anything even close. And
he was really harping on that number.
Because now we're leading in the polls again by a lot against Biden.
Yeah, but I want to remind you, Trump, that you still lost to Joe Biden, where however, you did get more votes than any sitting president. Joe Biden still got more votes than you, and that's why he's the president right now, according to the tale of the tape. Because remember, it's the winners that write the history, not the losers. And if you don't believe me, just go look up the term whitewashing.
And against the Republicans by a lot.
Boom.
But we're leading against Biden by a lot, a tremendous amount. And we went up to a level that they figure the way they're going to stop us is by using what's called warfare.
Warfare?
And that's what it is. This
asymmetrical?
Is warfare of the law. And we can't.
No. It's called lawfare. Lawfare, Trump. Lawfare. Asymmetrical lawfare. Because at this point, it is asymmetrical because there's so many seemingly disparate characters that have gone in and tried to indict this guy or done this or done that, that it has the view that there's some sort of cabal of individuals working together in some way. But, I mean, has there really been a preponderance of evidence that has been pushed forward to show that is actually, in all seriousness, the case? I would have to say, in my opinion, yes. But you know what? Most people would call me a liar. And you know what? That's fine.
Let it happen. We can't let it happen. Our country is going to hell, and they come after Donald Trump.
I don't want to go to hell.
Weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the FBI.
If I had a chance to go to hell or go to the black place, I'm going to the black place.
We can't let this continue to go on because it's ripping our country to shreds. We have such big problems, and this shouldn't be one of them. It's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax, just like Russia, just like
it's
the
a hoax.
Dossier was a hoax. You saw the Durham report. You saw the Mueller report.
You know what? You're right. I don't know why his eyes are so chinked up, but that's weird.
It was all a big hoax. You had 2 impeachments, and they lost, and we won, and we had tremendous support. But that
I
was
don't know
a
what that
hoax and a
picture is behind
scam.
him.
And now they're doing it again. It's just a continuation, 7 years, even after I'm out. But it's called election interference. They're trying to destroy a reputation so they can win an election. That's just as bad as doing any of the other things that have been done over the last number of years, and especially during the 2020 election. So I just want to tell you, I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if we could devote our full time to making America great again. And that's exactly what we did. But now, again, our country is in decline. We're a failing nation. And this is what they do. I'm an innocent man. We will prove that again. 7 years of proving it. And here we go again. Very unfair. But that's the
very
way it is.
unfair.
Everybody, we are doing something very special for our country. We're putting America
is
first.
very
I always put
unfair.
America first. And that's why we were in a position. Unfortunately, that position is no longer valid because they've done such a poor job. But we're in a position where we're going to make America great again. I'm innocent, and we will prove that very, very soundly and hopefully very quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, yeah, there you go from Trump himself. He indicted again. Damn, son, indicted again, running for president. Like, how is he even supposed to do any of this at this point? I don't. How are you supposed to move out of this? I don't think he can, dude. For what they're going after him for, Joe Biden should already be in jail, in my opinion. I mean, much bigger bribery scandals, much bigger, quid pro quos. I mean, there's just so much more there. And what does Joe Biden say? Joe Biden says, oh no, all the allegations against me are a bunch of malarkey. Right? Really, it's the same thing that Trump is saying. But, you know, with Trump, he was actually proving that it was a bunch of malarkey. But with Biden, is it? I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't think so. Biden says it is a bunch of malarkey, though. That was his worst. Any GOP bribery allegations, any allegations about Burisma, Ukraine, or any of that other crap, it's all malarkey. It's a bunch of hog swallow. It's a bunch of poppycock. You know, that's what it is. But yes, it's just, it's bad. It's bunk. It's fugazi. It ain't real. That's what Joe Biden says. And I mean, we're supposed to believe him, but clearly I don't believe him because he's an old lying man. I mean, how many times has this dude been caught lying on video and shit and gotten stuffed? I don't know. So, like, I don't believe him. I still don't believe half the people in the world that voted for him or whatever. I mean, it just kind of shocks me or whatever. It scares me. It scares me that this is how many people have gotten the virus. We got to fight against this mind virus. But then again, maybe it isn't a mind virus. Maybe they're just getting body snatched and then the aliens are taking them over and putting them into like computers and shit. And then they're just like sitting there and he's like mind pods or whatever. And the aliens are like using them to take over our bodies and like, or, you know, take over their minds and like have all of their memories, but they're like shapeshifters and they're just like hanging out, looking around. And if you figure out who they are, they're like, ah! You know, I just mixed like 4 or 5 different movie tropes right there. Pretty happy about that. That was like, if you could name all of them, I would be more impressed with your skills than anything. So yeah, if you could figure out how many tropes I just put together right there into one cohesive unit, you get the golden sticker for the day. I mean, yeah, you'd watch that movie. I watched that movie too, dude. All of them, that was like 4 or 5 movies just all like put together, right? That's right. Anyways, wow. Joe Biden. Joe Biden says, where's the money? Oh, yeah, where if I had all this problem, where's all the money? Huh? Where's all the money? It's a bunch of malarkey. So, yeah, Joe Biden, $5 million bribery scandal. Nah, that ain't real, man. It's a bunch of malarkey. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape.
Have the funding necessary to support Ukraine.
Dude, you could just fund it. Just ask Ukraine to give you a little kickback for the big guy, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of a viggy vig, you know what I mean? Just a little something. Little spot, you know, dude, can't get a little taste. Look it up. Drop one down.
The matter is, I asked people to picture what would happen if we were not supporting Ukraine. Do we think Russia
they would be Russia?
and Kyiv? Do you think that's all there would be happening?
And would that really affect me? No. But would I feel bad? Yes. But could I do anything about it? No, I'm not fucking Superman.
Think that would not be the case as well.
I agree with what the president said.
I wanted to be Superman, but they told me no.
Putin will be thinking that he can wait us
I'm
out,
just fat man.
that the alliance will tire, will get fatigued, and will give up. Now, that is not the case. And the more we can
It's all right, Fat Man still
support for Ukraine, not just
he's
in
still
the here
gonna do
and
it.
now, but support that will last for a time and for years to come, I think it sends a strong.
Sorry, who the fuck is this guy? That's the Prime Minister of Britain now? Rishi Sunak? God, he looks like a swarthy motherfucker. I bet you this dude's so fucking corrupt, it's unbelievable. I don't know. I just look at him and I see the evil around him, right? Like sometimes when I look at people, if you killed a man, I could see it on you. You may not know. You may not be able to see it, but there are some of us out here that have the sight. You could also have the sight too. You merely just need to unlock your latent potential and train vigorously. Anyways, but yeah, I look at this motherfucker. I just see the evil. You know, he's got the same kind of evil that surrounds him that Joe Biden does. Just black, nasty. It's scary when it's black because, you know, usually if it's like a killer or something, they'll have like little black clouds with like red speckly spots or whatever. And generally, yeah, animals usually act really strange around those types of people too. They can sense the fear. Whatever.
Signal to him that there is no point trying to wait us out. We're not going anywhere. We will be here for as long as it takes.
I get the same vibes from him that I get from that other swarthy Indian guy that started popping up everywhere.
And hopefully that will speed up the calculation in his
The
mind
one that's
of
running for president?
forces and stop what is an illegal and unprovoked act of aggression.
I know you motherfuckers are ripping dudes' hearts out and shit and eating them. I fucking just know it. I can fucking see it on you, Rishi Sunak. I can see it on you, motherfucker. And that's not just a Temple of Doom resident. That's not just a Temple of Doom reference. That's telling you that shit still exists today. What's this? Trump's allies link ex-president's indictment to FBI's Biden document. Radical far left will stop at nothing. Is that wrong? No. Donald Trump was indicted on 7 charges, right? And is that to take people's minds off the whole entire situation with Biden and him maybe being a little bit of a bad boy? A little bit of a bad boy, doing a little bit of bad boy shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, probably. Probably so. That's how the news goes. It's just... I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I am that guy, right? So I'm just going to keep being that guy. You know, I'm not trying to be as skeptical. I'm being skeptical, but at the same time, as I see that there's this Biden thing just isn't going to go anywhere. They're not going to let it go anywhere, guys. Like, the castle has fallen already. It's just going to get worse. It's like Man in the High Castle, bro. Soon, you know, the guys that thought that they were fighting the Nazis are going to be the full-blown Nazis. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I mean, there better be some kind of alien invasion that brings us all to fucking together. We're all fucked. Although, you know, predicting, that's probably not going to be happening. Not going to be happening. And think about this. If you thought that the United States was being really great and a superpower and doing great things all over the place, well, I don't know. People were kind of pissed in Ethiopia because the U.S. agencies that were supplying them with food have just suspended those supplies because a drought is gripping the country. And yes, they suspended food aid. The U.S. aid agency suspended food aid to Ethiopia because it says donations are being diverted from those in need and they're not able to get them because these bad people are taking them over and spending it, you know, using it for their criminal schemes. Yes. I mean, it's kind of sad. All they said is that as they reviewed its operations in Ethiopia and found what it called widespread and coordinated campaign to divert food assistance. The agency did not publicly say who it believed was behind the campaign, but a memo prepared by an independent donor group and seen by several news outlets pointed to a coordinated and criminal scheme apparently orchestrated by federal and regional government entities with military units across the country benefiting. Oh, wow. So the military was stealing the aid food and using it for their own ends, and they did it in a way that it took them a long time to figure that out. Oh. But I thought we were all like, positive and great with the world and stuff. But yeah, that's not who we are. Yep, that's not who we are. Both U.S. aid and the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken have raised the matter with Ethiopia's government, and they have gotten silence, allegedly. And this is just after U.S. aid and the U.S. World Food Program froze food aid to northern Tigray region last month after agencies discovered that shipments were being diverted to local markets and people were selling them. Oh, what? They're taking the food and they're selling it for other things like TVs and iPhones? Nope. Can't be fucking doing that, Dan. Can't be doing that. And it doesn't matter that 32 million people in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia are in the worst drought that they've had in decades. But you know what? It's totally fine. They're just going to figure out this whole little food program. They're going to make sure Ethiopia gets that all wrapped up. Then we'll restart the food deliveries. It'll be okay. Chill the fuck out. Come on. Don't be a little bitch about it, okay? It's not that bad. It's up to them to feed them, right? It's not like they're suffering from food shortages and shit because of the war in Ukraine or anything like that, right? Right? Speaking of swarthy Indian dudes, Vivek Ramaswamy statement. Trump's 2024 GOP opponents rushed to his defense post-indictment. If Donald Trump gets indicted and convicted, I'm going to pardon him. That's what Vivek Ramaswamy says. That's what this guy says, the other swarthy dude who, you'd be like, damn, son. This guy wants to be president. We're going to get all these fools running the world. Haven't you guys ever watched fucking Doctor Who? That's a terrible fucking idea. That's not even racist. That's just like fucking facts, bro. Like, you trying to get scammed on the presidency, bro? We already got scammed on the presidency once. Let's not do it again. Jesus. Fucking Christ. I mean, in a statement last Thursday, the 37-year-old biotech executive echoed Trump's criticism of the special prosecutor, saying there's two tiers of justice, with Trump subject to different standards than President Joe Biden. It would be much easier for me to win this election if Trump were in the race, but I stand for principles over politics. I commit to pardon Trump promptly on January 20th, 2025 to restore the rule of law in our country. Wow. Big talk. Right? Yeah. Honestly, he's 37 years old. He's a biotech executive, and now he's going into politics. That's just like fucking red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Like, everything's just telling me, yep, this dude's one of them fucking body snatcher shapeshifter motherfuckers. He ain't real or whatever. God damn it, Nick Fury, where the fuck are you? You're probably one of them. Who knows? Who cares? But you see, I actually brought that joke back. I tried really fucking hard, I tried really hard. And in other fantastic news from the amazing Biden administration that's doing all that work to be helping people, well, he just vetoed the student loan bill that everybody was, talking about, student loan debt relief, all that stuff. So that's the second time that he's basically squashed that shit, and it's been on him almost entirely, right? President Joe Biden just really doesn't give a shit about you or, your kids or anybody else. He just is like, yeah, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Veto. So he vetoed a bill that would have repealed months of student loan payment forbearance and banned up his up to $20,000 in debt forgiveness, regardless of how the Supreme rules on the legality of the program. That's right. He says that, oh, well, guess what? We still want to actually do all that stuff. And we're going to let all that stuff happen forward. You know, it's fine. We're already in the middle of a depression, right? We're already in the middle of stagflation like you've never seen. We can't afford to pay for their schools and stuff. We got to keep the money pumping into the education corporation apparatus, or they're going to go belly up too. And then we can't afford to bail them out, because what are we going to tell them? I mean, we could tell them that we can bail out the housing market, but telling them we're going to bail out the schools? Like, what the fuck? A school needs a bailout? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, they're dumb, but they're not that dumb. Yeah. And I don't know how this all rolls into aliens allegedly landing in somebody's backyard and us talking about it yesterday. And I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. But what I do get is that, just a little announcement for you. So it seems that Twitch has abandoned the bad ad changes after streamers and basically everybody else in their community freaked the fuck out. That's right. They decided that they were going to take that off of the table. So, yeah, the brand changes. Yeah, we're sorry about that one. We're going to keep that one off. But interestingly enough, the multi-streaming thing is still in. So, yeah. Yeah, think about that. Cool, man. Digging it. Oh, sorry. What exactly is Turkish Delight? I don't know why I clicked on this, but for whatever reason, Turkish Delight has been getting thrown up in my shit, and I'm just like, it's just fucking candy, bro. That's what it is. Just like, it's not even that good. It's just like fucking sugar and cornstarch shit. Like, what the fuck? In other more sad and tragic news that I just found on the internet, funeral company owner allegedly shoots two, killing Paul Barrow at a burial of a child fatality shot on Mother's Day. Wilson Chavis, age 48, is accused of shooting and killing Ronald Stephen Banks, 30, of Washington, D.C. What the fuck, man? Seriously, I thought shit was crazy when the Border Patrol showed up chasing illegals and shit at my aunt's fucking funeral, but this motherfucker shot some other... He killed some people at the fucking funeral. How you gonna kill somebody at a funeral? That's like a double negative, man. That's fucked up. It's like killing somebody at a wedding. Some fucked up shit, man. It's a bad karma. Bad juju. Huh. And, I mean, they were having a funeral for a 10-year-old Ariana Davis, who was killed in a barrage of bullets while riding in a vehicle with their family in Northeast D.C. on Mother's Day last month, and her killing remains unsolved. And now some other shit happens. They had a business dispute, and, yeah, that business dispute went out into some shots. I can't believe this shit, dude. Like, this is the world that we're living in nowadays. Dudes are shooting people at poor little girls' funerals and shit, who also got shot senselessly. And people be talking about, oh, gun violence is bad. Yeah, gun violence is bad. But you know what? It's because people that shouldn't be having guns be getting guns. And you know what? That's America. That's America. Although... it's not the assault weapons that they were using for these things. And thanks, Harrison Craig, for that $1.99 through the super chat. What's up? Welcome to the show. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks. I still think that's pretty strange. Still think it's pretty strange. We appreciate it, though. I guess this isn't really what I wanted to talk about, but what's this going right here? Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was caught on tape saying he discarded 2.5 million mail-in ballots in Texas. He was caught on tape. The impeached Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton didn't discard millions of mail-in ballots. Wow. Interesting. So he was impeached over allegations of bribery and abuse of office, and social media users are falsely claiming that Paxton recently admitted to election interference. Oh, so wait a minute. It's not actually true. That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad that somebody's actually coming forward and saying something about it, do something about it, because like I remember meeting this dude. And he was like, all right, guy. He had a weird fucking eye or whatever. But you know what? I try not to knock people for their fucked up eyes. But, you know, he had the same kind of fucked up eye situation that Glenn had or whatever. Still don't know what that's all fucking about. Still don't know what it's all about. But yeah, if you hear anybody talking about it, no, he did not got caught saying any of that shit. That shit's fake news. Don't you be lying on that shit. And YouTube, I best be seeing you taking motherfucking videos down if they be pushing that shit. If not, I ain't having it. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. That's like a Trump indictment. Like, what is it even going to do? It doesn't even matter. Just stupid at this point. You'll be like, oh, they're fucking indicting Trump again? Again? Cool. So, in other stranger and kind of hilarious news, the absolute dipshits over at Facebook are now starting to show everybody their competitor for Twitter. You know what? The guys that run Instagram, are now talking about putting out a new platform that's very Twitter-like, that has threads where people talk to each other in the threads and reply to each other, so on and so forth. Oh, and it's going to use your Instagram and all that jazz, so it's going to be all up in that Facebook ecosystem. Aren't you excited? No. I really hope that this is the thing that finally kills them, because Project 92 is probably not going to be going anywhere, no matter how cool it looks or uncool it looks. And I mean, everybody pretty much knows that it's just Facebook with a different skin on it, right? It's just Facebook. It's like a Facebook. Who gives a shit about Mark Zuckerberg? Not me. I don't give a shit about that guy no more. I don't give a shit about that guy anymore. But you know what? This guy's probably going to be the first user on that shit. Best believe. Him and Pete Buttigieg, who had no idea that this man that he was just good buddies with was a nefarious pig. He had no idea that one of his gay buddies was a depraved child herder. Yeah. He didn't know. Yep. He didn't know. Yeah, if it's from TikTok, it's always true, in fact. Well, TikTok is like, you know, like where I get my information. TikTok is number one, followed by Twitter, then YouTube. So like I'm always on TikTok finding all the information, because you could just find everything about it. Like TikTok's basically the new QAnon at this point. So it's like T-anon, TikTok-anon. I'm telling you, it's going to be fucking huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be so huge, in fact. I mean, I don't even know why I'm telling you about this other one. What was it? Anyways, so Gavin Newsom, the California dipshit governor that has basically allowed his entire state to get worse and worse by the day, is now proposing a 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to help end gun violence.
Every time it's the same. They tell us we can't stop these massacres. They tell us we have to stand by and watch tragedy after.
Did they say that they can't stop the massacres? Because I feel like they did say that they could stop the massacres. It's these like gun-free zones and places without police officers and stuff that are causing it, so that these killers could just roam free and, you know, openly kill stuff. Just ask. I mean, you know, just look at that last church shooting where the transgender individual shot up the church and shit. Look at that. And holy shit, thanks to Scroats with Goats for the $5 through the super chat. What does he say? Pete definitely doesn't have his own stash on a thumb drive. Yeah, no way. No way. He doesn't have a copy of his buddy's stash on a hard drive or something like that somewhere. No way, but thank you for being here, Mr. Scroats with Goats, and I appreciate you throwing some money at me.
Tragedy unfolds
Good old Gavin
in our
Newsome.
communities. They say we can't stop domestic terrorism without violating the Second Amendment. And that thoughts and prayers are the best we can do.
Our thoughts and prayers. Oh, yeah? Well, thoughts and prayers are the best that we could do, because if we do what you're proposing, we're going against the Constitution. We're going against the American way. We're going against freedom. And of course, it would be the fucking king dipshit from California who thinks that he's going to be president one day that would propose this.
That's a lie. In this country, we do have the power to change things, to reclaim our freedom from fear. Our ability to...
Freedom from fear? I don't know about you. I'm a gun owner. Being a gun owner doesn't make me live in fear of other gun owners. No, it makes me be all like, good, we both got guns. So if one of these dumb fucks with the gun decides to fuck up, me and this other guy, good guys with the guns, are going to make sure we stop him before he hurts somebody. I don't know. Kind of seems normal. And in his way, it's like, oh, well, we're going to keep the Second Amendment. We're just going to make some amendments that make it so that you can't have assault rifles. They really, really just love assault rifles. I mean, one day I want to see one of these fabled assault rifles, because obviously they don't exist. There's only Armalite rifles. And even then, that's a completely different class of shit that they're not talking about.
Union is literally written into the Constitution. So today, I'm proposing the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution to do just that. The 28th Amendment permanently enshrines 4 additions to the laws of our land. It raises the minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21.
21?
Because if you can't buy a beer, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun.
Oh, yeah, if you can't buy a beer, you should be able to buy a gun. Well, fuck it, Gavin Newsom. We might as well bump the age of the draft and everything else to 21, because if you can't buy a beer, you can't fight for your country. Am I right? See how stupid that is?
Mandates universal background checks to prevent truly dangerous people from purchasing
universal
a gun
background
that can be
checks.
Used.
Oh, right. He says we want to have universal background checks because that's his low-key way of saying that they want to have a national database of all firearms registered by individuals that they could just go look up any time of day, anytime that they want. The one thing that they, I don't know, can't do right now because it's literally illegal for them. He's telling you the good side, but I'm telling you what he's actually saying. He's another one of those evil, death-surrounded people where he's got the black and the red, meaning that, in my opinion, this dude's actually fucking killed the guy. Or maybe a girl. I usually can't tell, like, gender unless you're, like, right up close to him. For, like, the people that they killed.
A crime. It institutes reasonable waiting periods for all.
I don't know. He just looks like a motherfucker that would eat a motherfucker.
All gun purchases. And it bans civilians.
Can't find the evidence if I shit him out.
From buying assault rifles. Those weapons of war.
Hey, have you guys been over to my vineyard? The grapes are doing great. It's the fertilizer.
Our founding fathers never foresaw. This will guarantee states as well the ability to enact common sense gun safety laws while
what's your fertilizer? It's people.
Leaving the Second Amendment intact and respecting America's
and now you know why I don't drink wine anymore.
Gun-owning tradition. The 28th locks in the common sense constitutional protections that Democrats, Republicans, independents, and gun owners overwhelmingly support.
Oh, wow. Fox News says support for gun limits, background checks, raising the minimum age and the waiting period, ban for assault rifles for civilians. Well, that's good. I don't have an assault rifle. I got an AR-15, and it's a semi-automatic. And it's only made for shooting at targets.
And it ensures NRA-owned politicians can never strip those protections away. This fight won't be easy, and it certainly won't be fast.
Oh yeah, look at him. That's me trying to be the president
of the states to call for this.
Did you hear what he said? We need to call for a convention of the states. Oh, they want an Article 5 convention so they can railroad a whole bunch of shit in. Oh, okay. See that?
A constitutional convention requires 2/3 of the states to call for this.
Constitutional
California will be the
convention.
first. But that's just the beginning. Join us by going to campaignfordemocracy.com and signing the petition. To protect our communities and protect our freedom, support the 28th.
So, obviously, I don't support the 28th Amendment. We don't need an amendment to an amendment. Sorry, it was clear enough as it is. Taking the guns away from people or limiting access to guns, in your opinion, in the way that you're describing, is not going to increase safety in any way and is only going to increase the amount of people that shouldn't have guns that be having guns. So yeah, I don't know. It's like a Judge commercial. It's super suspect. I don't like it. And I really don't like hearing that, because that's one of the main things that Nevada and the GOP were talking about when we were rewriting the state's, like, you know, GOP bylaws or whatever for the year. This was one of the biggest hot button topics where some people were like, no, we're fine with an Article 5 convention. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't be fine with that, because whoever's in charge or whoever runs the government at that particular time basically gets to say how everything goes down. And it never historically, it hasn't gone that great, has it? No, it hasn't. So, I don't know. You really want to give them that power? I don't think so. I know most people in Nevada stood against any type of state convention, especially if it's being called by the Democrats in any way, shape, or form. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of dipshits and dumbasses that haven't done their homework and don't understand, and they're just going to go for it, which is, well, strange. And that's Gavin Newsom, man. It's Gavin Newsom. I mean, Gavin Newsom. Oh, we watched that shit yesterday. I think the last little bit of news that I have today is that Bam Margera, he's in hospital again, going back into rehab again. Yeah, it's all happening once again. So it looks like Lamar Odom joins him by the bedside in the hospital. But your boy Bam Margera is going through detox and rehab once again at a new place, at a new time, trying to do a new thing, which is really interesting because, you know, he wasn't doing very well the last time that we saw him putting out any videos. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was actually just a video that was put out by that one YouTube channel, Surprise Witness or something like that. Bam Margera. Oh, yeah, right there. BJ Investigates one day ago. Bam Margera speaks out. So, weird. So, he was placed on a psychiatric hold 2 days ago after the Steve-O called the cops on him. And now he's going back into rehab. Interesting. Hey, yes, Sam, that's funny. This is the first time I've ever seen that dude follow the Constitution. Yeah, Bam Margera, poor guy. You gotta really understand that. You know what? Steve-O's not a good friend. He's a piece of shit. It's all right though. He gonna get him real soon. You gonna get his real soon. I heard that the pedophile claims are coming back on his, and people are coming forward, so that's going to be interesting. But that's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm going to sandbag hard on that one because, well, I do what I want. So with that, that's pretty much it. That's all we have for you guys today. It's been a interesting day for the news. Lots of ridiculous shit be happening. A lot of wishy-washy mishigash, I guess. Like, what is happening? Literally, Biden had boxes and boxes of classified documents. He wasn't even the president, had no ability to classify all that shit. He had it after the time that he was the vice president. And it's okay for him. But Trump, no, we're fucking indicting you. It should tell you everything you need to know about where you're living and the situation you're in. And it should give you a little more clarity as to why some of us have decided to just move on to different things because we can see the writing on the wall. And I mean, it's either keep spinning your wheels or go work for the Department of Transportation and try to make something good out of this shithole. Yep. So I guess with that, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate all the folks out there. I appreciate all the folks that made donations. And I appreciate you guys every time you come in. And so make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share this with your friends. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Either way, much love. And we'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye now. Adios. Much love.